Nuts of the Cocoa, it is your friendly neighborhood PK here with a basic September events and updates video. Now, they call this month the month of 4 moons, and that's because they're having a special golden moon event. We have True World War, which occurs on a blue moon. We have Blood Moon, and we have Dark Moon all running this month. So it's an action-packed month. Now, you should be able to see their event calendar as a push notification when you load up the game. But if not, you could always pop into the forum and under the in-game event tabs, go into the September events at a glance. And it's going to pull up the expected events. Now, you can see that all 4 of these main events are going to run in tandem with our regularly scheduled events. So there'll still be Alliance War, Domination, Tournament, Invasion, etc. What we don't see on the calendar is a transfer event. Now, the devs aren't really predictable when it comes to transfer events. Sometimes they have them every 4 weeks. Other times they have them 4 months apart. So, are we going to have a transfer event next month? I can't really hazard a guess. I would like to think so, but all we know is that we don't have one this month. What is also not on the event calendar is any kind of big update. We should be receiving a 5.2 update here. Looks like probably next month since it's not on the calendar for this month. However, that doesn't mean that we're not going to have little patch updates and tweaks here and there. We're only about 4 days into the month and we've already had 2. Now, ADM has gotten a little bit of a boost. You used to get 50, 25%, and 50% march speeds for the event. Those have now been doubled, and you get 100 per match. The kill buff has also been doubled, so instead of a 1,000% kill buff, you now get a 2,000%, and the duration for which that lasts has been increased by 50%. So instead of running for 60 seconds, it'll run for 90 seconds. So that's been pretty sweet. We also had a patch on 9.2, which gave us a couple small things and one really big thing that everybody's talking about. So one of the small things that it gave was a boost to Sank battles. Now, if you port into the Black Forest while Capital War is going on, you may notice that you need to unshield to participate in a Sanctuary battle. By porting your little booty in there, you're going to notice that you will also get a 500% troop attack and troop HP boost. The lovely devs have decided to be generous and double those boosts. So you will now get a 1,000% troop attack and a 1,000% troop HP boost, which will hopefully make some of the smaller accounts a little bit braver when thinking about unshielding for those battles. Another thing the devs have done is given us the ability to sell our pets. Now, you may notice that selling your pets is not a lucrative business. They don't sell for very much. But if you do want to clean up your inventory, this is one way to do so. You can sell them individually or by group. If you have enhanced your pet, it is automatically locked. So to unlock it, you'll just need to click on the lock icon on the top left. And selling it as an enhanced monster won't get you any more than selling it as a not enhanced monster. So you're going to want to dismantle any of the ones that you want to sell prior to selling. Also, if you have them already equipped, you're going to need to unequip those monsters before you sell them. Probably the big thing that I'm hearing the most on everybody's mind is the new gear. They've dropped 3 new type level 60 gears. We have Experienced, Willful, and Ferocious. We can take a look at those in the Codex. Now, I've seen a lot of people get up in arms over these, but we need to remember that for one, Radiant, it seems like the last 10 months have really flown by, but Radiant has actually been out for close to a year. It first debuted during True World, I want to say December of last year. Of course, prior to that, we had Dark Lord that was pretty popular. That was also there for, I want to say, a little over a year. So it takes a long time for these quote-unquote new gear sets to really get into the common inventory of most players. So right off the bat, we're not going to have a lot of players that are going to be running with plus 10 enhanced experience, willful, and ferocious sets. Right now, they are offering at least the experience materials in True World, both as event rewards and as purchasable with True World coins. They're going to have the gear chest, and then also in the True World event chest, there's going to be a chance to get them. And if you take a look at them, you're going to notice that it does pack a pretty hefty troop attack, type troop attack. And it's going to offer debuff not just to the weaker troop type, but to the same troop type as well. So in infantry's case, it's going to debuff both infantry and cavalry. Now, that's not so scary when you're talking about the same troop type, although, yeah, the debuffs would suck, but you're not going to have the leverage, which is what's going to do the most damage. So it's still your cavalry that's going to take on the most of the hit when we're talking about the aspirant set. What I like most about these sets as an attacker is the accessory piece, which at plus 10 gives 9,000% additional damage to T1 and T2 troops. And that's not type specific. Which honestly, with these sets, you're going to need, really, you're going to need T1 and T2 to slow them down from getting into the meat of your T3 and T4 troops. Although with the recent PvP event point changes, nothing is going to really keep you, if you're going to burn, you're going to be negative in points. So it's really just trying to keep it cheaper for you on what to heal and not to blow up your entire base, honestly. Unless you can afford to build the billions of troops that it'll need for a good defensive pool. Which some people have that locked down. Some people have their own ways to do it. There's so many different ways to try and defend in this game. It's what makes this game pretty awesome. But honestly, I still rather be hit by a plus 10 aspirant set than a plus 5 radiant set right now. Not a lot of people have that plus 5 set. Not only do the boost and the buffs apply towards all troops, but with the plus 5 set, you're also going to get that 10% deployment deputy stats that you're not going to get with the level 60 set. I'm not going to say necessarily that they missed the mark. At first, I'm like, the devs really missed the mark on these level 60 sets. But I think they'd be a lot more scarier. They're kind of like a buffed up Crimson set, and we saw a huge like outcry about Crimson because most of the people were single type defenses. But they easily were able to kind of crawl away from those being deadly by going into mixed troops, which is then why we saw Radiant become more readily available. I think if you mix up your troops in a smart way, these level 60 sets won't be so deadly. It's also going to be really expensive for the attackers because they're going to need multiple sets to really be scary. Because at this point, you know, if you know someone has just an experience set, you can change up your troop type within an hour, your bottom tiers, and make it not so deadly for them. So it is going to be really expensive on the attacker. It's going to be really hard to get. Of course, with the right bases, these level 60 gears could potentially blow somebody up. So I'm not saying they're not scary, but I don't think they're as devastating as a lot of people are afraid of right now. They're just seeing a whole nother set that has a lot of attack and debuffs. So that is my opinion on that for now, anyhow. Of course, once you see something on paper and when you see something actually happen, like in value, that could be two different things. Now, True World is coming up, and we do have a bunch of chests that are happening in there. Make sure that you get your chests for your True World coins from previous True World. Make sure that those come over for this True World. That was an issue with the previous True World, and they did specifically say that additional coins would transfer over to the next True World. Usually there's some selections chest that happens, and so we could take a look at those. Usually there is an mortal and then epic grade selections chest, We have some really nice values in here, particularly in the sulfur, the radiant chest, and the summoning scrolls. Now keep in mind, I did do a pet summoning scroll unboxing event recently. I did about a little over 100 of these grade 5 to 6 summoning scrolls, and out of that, less than 10% ended up being a level 6 quality pet. It could just be my bad luck, but that's where I stood on that. Now here's the epics. Sulfur is still a really good value in here, as well as the summoning scroll. And the AP is nice as well. And then the rare, I guess I should do that in a single value. I did, okay. Which the execute nows, the auto raids, and the instant deploy for rally attacks are pretty nice in here as well. And of course, maybe there's just something in there that strikes your fancy just because. We're going to see a lot of opportunity for players to really bulk up this month. Super excited about it. Of course, you guys can let me know in the comments what you think. If there's any sort of content that you want to see. I'm hopefully going to get a PvP video out this weekend for True World. We'll see. Fingers crossed. And as always, like, subscribe, check out our website at www.ironthroneelite.com. And until next time.